and welcome to this session on making MT3 lathe dead center and check with female part. Let us begin with the session.
Let us now look at the objectives of the session. At the end of the session, you will be able to turn taper by using on taper turning attachment, turn Morse taper 3 and check with taper by matching with a MT3 sleeve. Tools and equipment requirements for this exercise are as follows. Lathe, 4-jaw chuck, chuck key, tool post key, taper turning attachment, cutting tools, right hand and left hand, Morse taper type, 3 machine sleeve, vernier caliper, steel rule, universal surface gauge, center drill, center punch, ball peen hammer, Persian blue, clean microfiber cloth, soft bristled brush, lubricating oil, emery sheet. Through this exercise, let us learn how to taper turn and make a Morse taper type 3 lathe machine dead center using a taper turning attachment. Check the size of the raw material using a steel rule and vernier calipers. Hold the job in an independent 4-jaw chuck. Check the alignment of the job by truing it. Set the required tools in a 4-way tool post. Face both the ends. Ensure the total length of the job is maintained to 130 mm. Center drill the job to support between the centers. Support the job on the tailstock, keeping 115 mm from the chuck face and true. Turn the job to a diameter of 24.05 mm to the maximum possible length and ensure the diameter using vernier calipers. Position the turning tool on the tool post and step turn to a diameter of 18 mm up to a length of 4 mm long from the face. Form radius R1 at the edge of step diameter 18 mm. Now, let us learn taper turning using a taper turning attachment to create a taper of 1 degree, 26 minutes and 11 seconds on the job as shown. A taper turning attachment provides a quick and accurate means of turning tapers. The following procedure is to be followed during turning taper using a taper turning attachment. Check for backlash between the guide bar and the sliding block and adjust if necessary. Clean and oil the guide bar. Loosen the locking screws, then swivel the guide bar to the required angle. Tighten the locking screws. Adjust the base plate until the ends of the guide bar are equidistant from the cross slide extension. Set up and align the cutting tool on exact center. Any error in which will result in an incorrect taper. Mount the workpiece on the chuck or between centers. Adjust the carriage until the cutting tool is approximately opposite to the center of the tapered section. Lock the clamping bracket to the lathe bed to secure the taper turning attachment in this position. Adjust the top slide so that it is parallel with the cross slide, that is, at 90° to the work. Set up the cutting tool for the correct position. Set the required RPM speed. Feed the cutting tool to a required depth of cut. Remove the locking screws which connect the cross slide and the cross slide nut. Use the binding lever to connect the cross slide extension and sliding block. Insert a suitable plug in the hole on the top of the cross slide to protect the cross slide screw from dirt and metal chips. The compound slide must now be used to feed the cutting tool into the work. Move the carriage to the right until the cutting tool is about 12 mm away from the right hand end of the workpiece. Switch on the lathe. Take a light cut about 2 mm long and check the end of the taper for size. Set the depth of the roughing cut. Machine the work like plane turning. Remove the play by moving the cutting tool 12 mm beyond the right hand end of the work at the beginning of each cut. Finish the taper to size. Deburr the workpiece. Dismount the chuck from the spindle nose and fix the spindle sleeve to the nose bore. Insert the job in the sleeve and set the machine RPM. Swivel the compound slide to 30 degrees away from you. Repeat the previously explained steps to taper turn the other end with help of a taper turning attachment. Rough and finish taper turn to get a 60-degree included angle. Deburr the workpiece. Check the taper using a matching MT3 taper sleeve or taper gauge. Now let us learn the sequence for checking match for the MT3 dead center using a matching MT3 taper sleeve. Examine both the male and female workpieces for any burrs, dirt, oil or grease. Clean both the sleeve and dead center with a clean cloth. Apply a thin layer of Persian blue on the taper of the MT3 dead center 120 degree apart. Assemble the MT3 dead center inside the MT3 tapered sleeve carefully with sufficient force to ensure positive contact between the dead center and the sleeve, and give 1/4 twist to the dead center. Remove the dead center carefully and check if the Persian blue is rubbed off uniformly, at least to about 70% of its area. This ensures the accuracy of the angle required. To recap, we have learned to turn taper by using on taper turning attachment, turn Morse taper 3 and check with taper by matching with a MT3 sleeve.
So that's all about making of MT3 lathe dead center and checking it with the female part. See you in the next session.